So hey guys, it's KMCers ever. I'm Kiersten and welcome back to another true crime video. So today we are actually going to be talking about a case that is over in England. We're going to be talking about Ellie Gould. So let's just jump right into this. So Ellie Gould was born on February 6th of 2002. She was 17 years old from Colne, Wiltshire, UK. Her parents are Matt and Carol, and she does have an older brother that is unnamed. She was described as having a passion for riding horses. In fact, she would let disabled people ride her horse Blackjack. For outgoing, bubbly, nice to everyone. She actually had dreams of actually becoming a police officer when she became older. So now let's talk about the incident and a little bit about what led up to it. So in January of 2019, Ellie ended up telling her mom that she started to date a boy named Thomas Griffith. And she was like super excited about it, and he was from Deer Hill and was athletic, and he played rugby. They kind of liked each other to begin with. They kind of flirted on and off, and that was all before they started dating. And they did start to date shortly after he did ask her out in January. So May 2nd of 2019, Ellie ended up breaking up with Thomas. She ended up telling her friends that she was super relieved and happy that she ended things, that he was pestering her, meaning that he was constantly texting her about the whole breakup thing. He was super controlling and manipulative. She was just really happy about being out of that relationship. And on May 3rd, just the day after she broke up with him, Ellie got breakfast and got up like normal, and her mom ended up leaving for work that morning. She didn't have to go to school right away. She didn't have class until the afternoon, so she stayed at home and was going to study a little bit, and then her friend Ellie was going to pick her up for school. Her friend Ellie did get a text from Ellie saying that she did not need her to pick her up and that she was just going to stay home today. So Ellie's friend Ellie went to school like normal. Ellie's dad, Matt, did come home at about 3 p.m. and when he walked into the kitchen, that's when he found Ellie. He ended up getting his neighbor to call 911, as well as he did call 911. And he did inform Carol, Ellie's mom, that Ellie was dead. So now let's talk about the investigation. So Ellie was found face down with a large amount of blood. She was stabbed 13 times. She was found holding a knife in the direction that looked like she could kill herself. And it was estimated that she had been dead for about 4 hours. So Ellie was laid to rest on May 29th of 2019. Her coffin was carried by 2 ponies at her funeral, as well as a carriage. It was really, really beautiful. And shortly after this, police started to believe that this was no longer an accident investigation, but they actually believed it was a homicide. And at the time, based on how much blood there was, Matt, her dad, really did think that it was no accident. But Carol, on the other hand, definitely thought it was an accident. But the police interviewed some neighbors, and they said that they had saw a young, slim-built man. And that's how Thomas became the main suspect, as he was dating, or did date, Ellie. They interviewed their friends, and their friends ended up saying that Thomas was devastated after they broke up. He spoke about hurting himself. And when the police ended up finding Thomas, they had found that there were some marks on his neck. And his demeanor was very, very odd. He was arrested. And at the time when the news broke, Carol and Matt just saw that a 17-year-old had been arrested. And in their heart of hearts, they just knew instantly that the person arrested was Thomas. Ellie's friend did reveal that Thomas had been sending them text messages on the day, or at least Snapchats on the day of the murder. He did send photos with marks on his neck, and he was saying that he was stressed out and he was self-harming himself. The police did question Thomas about his whereabouts, and he did claim to be at home studying all day. But one of the weird things was, one of the first things he asked when he got arrested was if Ellie was okay, which was really, really odd. Thomas did say that his mom dropped him off at school, but he took a bus back home because he wasn't feeling well. He was seen on surveillance video on the bus, getting on the bus. Thomas's mom did return home at about 10:45 that morning, and during that time he ended up hiding in a closet. He did say that he talked to a neighbor about his stresses and about how he was self-harming himself, and the neighbors did remember that he did have marks on his neck that morning. Thomas did ask his neighbor to give him a ride back to school later on that day. And once he returned back to school, he ended up going to the nurse's office where the nurse called his mom. During their investigation, Ellie's parents did find out that she was actually strangled before she was stabbed. And they did start to look into Thomas's phone records, and at around 10:50, his phone disconnects from his Wi-Fi at home, and it was disconnected for about an hour, which gave him enough time to drive to Ellie's house, and police did get CCTV footage from the dash cam of the bus that showed Thomas's car. He did return home for about 18 minutes and then left again. Police did do a search some more, and they did find about 9 minutes away from Thomas's house a black trash bag. And in that black trash bag were some bloody washcloths and napkins. They did figure out that he did return home to wash his bloody clothes. The police did collect a pair of tennis shoes with Ellie's blood on them. And it is believed that Thomas had planned this, that he did everything to cover his tracks. He went to Ellie's house, strangled her, and stabbed her. At around 11:45 a.m. that morning, he ended up texting Ellie from Ellie's phone about not picking her up as she was gonna stay home. And he did put the knife in her hand and re-stab her with it to make it look like it was an accident or that she had killed herself. So now let's talk about the trial. So Thomas was months away from turning 18, so he was 17 at the time of the crime. So he was considered a child. In August of 2019, he did plead guilty, and he did give a new version of what had happened. He had said that he drove to Ellie's house to study, and they got into an argument, and he only remembers strangling Ellie, but he can't remember anything after that. Which never really made sense, as he did so much stuff to cover up what he had done. And in November of 2019, Ellie's parents actually did go to Thomas's sentencing, and during that time, Thomas wouldn't look at them. He was sentenced to a minimum of 12 and a half years in prison, and Ellie's parents and friends were very devastated by the sentencing. So now let's talk about the aftermath of everything that had happened. Thomas's lawyer ended up reading an apology that was written by Thomas, where he talked about his mental health at the time of the crime. Ellie's friends wanted to carry on her legacy, so they ended up raising about £8,000, and they donated it to Writing for the Disabled charity, as she was very passionate about that. Ellie's friends and her parents also campaigned to get self-defense lessons taught in school, as they truly believed if she knew how to fight off her attacker, that she could be alive today. Ellie's friend Raven, who was actually going to go to college fall to become a songwriter, she actually ended up writing a song in memory of Ellie. Ellie's 18th birthday came, and they decided, family and friends decided to set up a memorial in front of a horse statue where they placed a bunch of flowers around it. Carol and Matt, Ellie's parents, actually revealed that they were trying to fight for a new law called Ellie's Law. It would require teen killers ages 15 to 17 to get a minimum sentencing of 15 years instead of the 12. And in March of 2021, Ellie's Law was actually introduced into Congress, and it actually changed a little bit and says that it allows teen killers to be treated as adults. Anyone that is convicted will actually get a minimum of 25 years in prison. Ellie's friend Scout was doing a 125-mile 4-day canoe race in honor of Ellie, and she did this because her and Ellie rid Blackjack, her horse, and had a very big passion about riding horses together. I'm going to leave you with some photos of Ellie and her beautiful life. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below what case I should do next, and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification so you're notified when we post every Tuesday and occasionally Fridays. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.